Commanders, welcome back to the port. There's a new ship in the shop today, the Italian premium Tier 5 destroyer Leone. There it is, 10K. I don't know if you should buy this ship. I've read a lot about it. I've watched a lot of reviews of the PC version. Yes, I know we're not on PC. And it's really hard for me to see where this ship is going to do well. So you got a couple of upgrade slots. So that's going to be your aiming system, and that's going to be your propulsion mod. Of course, Wargaming couldn't be bothered to give us the loadout, so I'm guessing it's going to have a smoke screen and an engine boost. It's got 13,700 hit points. It's got 8 guns, so 4 2-barrel turrets, but they reload 9.5 seconds. Um, and they have a low fire chance. So you're not going to be starting a lot of fires in this ship, at least not the base ship. And I would be willing to bet you're going to have to show a flat broadside to anyone to get all 4 turrets or all 8 guns on an opposing ship. So let's go look at uh, at some other ships and see if we can find a comparable Tier 5 destroyer in terms of guns. And so the T-61, as you can see, it doesn't have 8 guns. It doesn't have 8 guns, but it has a better fire chance. Sorry about that. And its AP is clearly superior. So we'll look at the tech tree ship, the Geta. The Geta has upgraded guns. I think maybe the base Geta does similar damage, albeit from less cannons. Let's look at the Gepard. So the Gepard, again, less guns on target, but it's superior. The Genevi superior. Um, let's look at the Icarus. All right, so here's some comparable guns. All right, so the my commander choices I think lengthened that reload by zero point 0.5 or a half of a second. So essentially, if I swapped out that and shortened my reload back to 5 seconds, here is your comparable guns. The Icarus is a half a second slower overall. Um, when you count like 4 guns firing twice versus 8 guns firing once with a 9.5 second reload. So discounting that my build has made this half a second longer, the Icarus has a 2% better fire chance. Um, and so we don't have a new destroyer commander, so you're going to be using the base commander. You're going to be using Campione. So you're going to be using Swirsky. You're probably going to use Eric Bay if you have both of those guys. That is going to get your concealment down if you choose. Um, look at me now. It's going to get it down to about 21.5% off. I mean, I would use Burn It Down XXL in this first row to get your fire chance up to 8%. Um, you know, clearly you're not going to be ramming anybody and your AA is so low, it's not going to matter. So with Look at Me Now, that's going to get you down to about 5.1 kilometers with the fully max camo and fully max Swirsky, fully max Bay, and Campione at 12, level 12 or higher. So your surface detectability for the Leon will be 5.1 kilometers if I did my math right. You're probably going to choose back in stock as well. Um, that's going to make your reload marginally quicker from the 47 some point something seconds. Or you could also use Velocious. Um, it's really kind of what is more important to you. And again, without knowing if it has a smoke screen or not, I would never use the Reaching Out XXL. So you have steer clear of smoke on the water. Don't know the smoke characteristics, so I can't really comment intelligently on that. and you're going to be using Unstoppable in all likelihood. So we go back to the Leone. Let's look at the. I guess I'm stopping here again to reiterate that it's essentially like that British ship we looked at shooting twice. The Leone does it half a second faster. Um, Torpedoes, so they reload in 47 seconds. So maybe if you have Campione fully maxed at level 16, legendary level 4, I don't know, maybe that gets it down to 43 seconds or I mean, I don't even think you're going to get 10% of that. That'd be 4 seconds. So, you're going to lose a couple of seconds. And I think in this instance, maybe the speed Velocious is a better idea than back in stock. You have no AA at all, none. So you're not going to improve AA. Don't buy the AA mod. Don't choose the AA skill in Campione's first row. If you did that, the most that's going to be is like 10 or 11. Um, you know, your speed, I think if you had the speed flag and Velocious fully maxed out, you're not even going to break 40. So I think maybe this is around this little less than the speed of the Eagle, if I'm remembering correctly. Your rudder shift is okay, but you're not going to be the fastest ship, but it'll be relatively fast. I think maybe with the speed boost, you'll break 40 knots. So, I mean, I would go with Velocious instead of back in stock. I just don't think back in stock is going to get high enough to make a meaningful difference in the torpedo reload. And can't imagine what I'm still talking about here, or wanting to talk about. All right, so let's look at that. So, like we talked about, fully max Swirsky, fully max Bay, level 12 or higher Campione, you're going to get that surface detectability down to 5.1, I believe. So these green things kind of crack me up. It's say, hey, your torpedoes are really stealthy. Yeah, they also travel 51 knots. So that means anything short of a school bus with four flat tires is going to be able to move out of the way, or maneuver to avoid them. And you're only shooting two. So out of each launcher, so I don't know, maybe a maximum of four. So that's just going to be really interesting to see. Now, I mean, obviously you could blunder into a torpedo strike or two, but if you're trying to use them up close, I just don't know how effective they're going to be. They don't do a ton of damage, so maybe you have to hope you can flood them, but you can't set fires, so you can't get them to burden their damage count first. And here I'm just looking at the arrangement of the guns. I would have felt a lot better if it had been the second turret had been a super firing turret behind the first one, kind of in a stack there. But as you can see, they're spread out almost equidistant along the length of the ship. So you're going to have to get a near flat broadside to get all four of them on target. And I just don't know. Um, I hate to say this. It's hard for me to recommend the ship. I think maybe if it was on sale or if it was 8,500 or something, or maybe if it was a tier four, then we would be having a different conversation. But at tier five, this thing's, in my opinion, is just going to get pounded on. Um, that's just my thoughts.